Hello everyone, this is WCVB5 fan here. It's now time for another YouTube video. This is a video that I've actually never done before on my channel, but I know Jordan 90's Fanboy did it in a couple years ago. And this is the list of episodes of Teletubbies episodes that still bug me or have been bugging me before they were uploaded. But for this list, I'm only going to talk about the PBS versions because that's mostly what we've been discovering through blank tapes. So yeah, so let's begin. So Bubbles, the thing that was bugging me was basically the DVD, the Mac Activates introductory video, when I saw the scene where Poe was having a blowy day, and I couldn't figure out what episode that was from, but it turns out until 2019 when Bubbles was uploaded by The Beast. So yeah. Number 3, now this part was bugging me for a while until it got uploaded in 2020. It was the scene where after the Teletubbies were doing the falling down dance, the windmill spun with the whooshing sound, or spun with the whooshing sound, and then the TV music was playing. So yeah, and it happened in this episode. I honestly thought it happened in Altogether Teletubbies, but it did not, unfortunately. Number 4. Now, the thing that was bugging me was the boo shutter. I honestly thought it was going to be Poe, but nope, it was Lala, much like in the UK version. So yeah, sorry about that, the notification. Rain. The thing that was bugging me was what came before the TV ad, because originally I heard it was the scene from Spiders where Tinky Winky listens to the voice trumpet reciting the Itsy Bitsy Spider rhyme. But nope, it had a rabbit shot, and then it had the up and down dance, in addition to the splashing dance, which I lost my mind when I saw that when it got uploaded in 2021. Drumming with Norse. Now, I know this was I know the episode was bugging a lot of people. The thing that was bugging me was what magic event was in the episode, as well as what Baby Sun clip and Baby Sun audio was used after the stepping dance. It was the animal parade with the elephant trumpet noise and the Baby Sun crescendo scream, which I kind of knew that it was in this one, because I do remember no audio of the Baby Sun sighing before she does the crescendo scream. So yeah, and I honestly thought it was going to be that Tinky Winky was going to be the boo shutter, but nope, it was actually Lala, which is weird because I honestly think Tinky Winky being the boo shutter would have made sense, to be honest. Gingerbread Boy. The thing that was bugging me about this one was what version of the running away dance was used. I honestly measured it, and the short version actually would have matched but nope, it was the extended version which is kind of weird. So yeah. Harp. The thing that was bugging me about this one, this and another episode, which we'll get to in a little bit, was if this episode had the magic tree, but nope, it had the happy dance. Honestly, the magic tree should have. I think the magic tree should have been in this episode. So yeah, and honestly, I thought Lala would be the boo shutter in this episode because, but nope, it was Poe, which is odd because the episode following this one, Brennan's Moonwalk, that episode also had Poe be the boo shutter, so which was weird that I would have 2 episodes in a row with Poe be the boo shutter, and that already happened earlier this season with the U.S. version of Gingerbread Boy and numbers 8. So yeah, Handy Hands. What was simple for this one? What happened after the mitten segment? Well, first thing is if the dialogue was kept from Silly Songs and Funny Dances, but nope, it was not. And we all thought it had the running away dance at the end with the Magic House, but nope, it had the Dizzy Dance, the short version, with the windmill stopping after that, which is pretty weird. So yeah, although like I said when I was talking about the U.S. version of Handy Hands in my season 3 recap, the reason why it has that dance is because the Teletubbies do hold hands in some parts of the dance. Catholic dancing. We were all bugged about, I was wondering, I honestly thought this episode was going to have the same dialogue from What's That, but nope, it did not, which is weird because that was actually the only segment that I know of that actually has different dialogue in a Teletubbies Everywhere home video. So yeah. And also the dance that was in use. We all thought it was going to be the round and round dance, but when another episode got uploaded by C100 Able, was uploaded shortly before this one was, which that episode actually had the round and round dance. So, but nope, this episode actually had the bumping dance. So yeah. Numbers 5. We all thought, similar to Harp, we all thought this episode was going to have the magic tree, but nope, Justin Knight was right. It had the jumping dance at the end. And I actually correctly measured this length because it did have the rabbit shot with some scenes edited out, and some of the music was edited out as well. Sand sailing. This episode, again, like I said, we all thought this episode was going to have the bumping dance, and Catholic dancing would have the round and round dance, but no, it was the other way around. So yeah, and also one user said that he remembers the episode having the jumping dance with the extended version. Jordan I's fanboy, I should say. He remembers an episode that had the extended version of the jumping dance with the 3 ships taking place after that, and Lala being the blue shutter. But that happened in the Pledge Drive airing. Stop and Go. I honestly had no idea what happened in this episode, but I honestly thought I was going to have the tiptoe dance at the end of the episode, and I honestly thought a lot of users thought this would have a US version of the TV event, but nope, it kept the regular TV event from its original UK version. And I also thought I was going to have the tiptoe dance, but nope, it had the twisty dance at the end with the babies. It's the same version from the US version of Funny Walks, where it had the same clip of the baby son doing her crescendo scream at the end. Bagels. Now, this episode I do remember seeing, but what was bugging me was who the Boo Shutter was, because we had a lot of debating on whether it was, because a lot of users, because Scooby-Doo 1998 said he kind of remembered it was that Takey Wakey was the Boo Shutter, while the Beast remembered it was Lala, who was also the Boo Shutter in the UK episode. Me and Jordan I's fanboy both went with the Beast on this episode, and thank goodness we did, because Lala is, in fact, the Boo Shutter, the U.S. version of Bagels, in addition to the U.K. version. Tower. And one other thing, before, I honestly thought part of me thought the episode would not have the windmill stopping at the end after the stretching dance, but it did. So, yeah, and I actually measured, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because I did measure that length before the episode was uploaded last year. Towers. The thing that was bugging me was if the windmill stopped spinning after the happy dance, but nope, it had the same baby son clip from the UK version of Looking for Rabbits, which was very disappointing. So yeah, okay, here's Cat's Night Out. The thing what was bugging me about this episode was if this was the episode I remember, if this was one of the episodes I remember seeing with the Magic House with the windmill stopping at the end. I have a feeling it is, to be honest with you, because I do kind of remember the main scene, because I do remember I kind of remember that shot of the windmill that was used right before we see the windmill spinning, right before it cuts to the Teletubbies, a closer view of the Teletubbies giving a big hug, and then we see the windmill spinning for the Magic House. So yeah, I actually think I did see this episode though, although I very vaguely remember Poe being the Boo Shutter, because much like Jordan I's fanboy, I'm mostly used to seeing Lala being the Boo Shutter after the windmill stops spinning, and it's usually after a magic event. Skipping. This episode this episode was bugging me because I honestly thought this episode was gonna have the skipping dance at the end, but nope, it had the swinging dance. Even though the Teletubbies were skipping during that dance as well, I honestly thought this episode should have had the skipping dance. Even if it was a short version, which happened in a Sunday special version. So yeah, miniature golf. The thing that was bugging me was what came after the Magic House, and who the Boo Shutter was. I mean, I heard it had a lot of users said it had the happy dance, which was correct. And a lot of us, and honestly, I was wondering if this was going to be the episode where the windmill stopped spinning after the happy dance before Teletubbies say, uh-oh, but it did not. It had the baby son clip from My Home is a Boat. And we all thought and a lot of users thought that Takey Wakey was going to be the Boo Shutter, but I kind of had a feeling it was going to be Poe, to be honest. So yeah. Becky's Chocolate Treats. Oh boy. This episode, is what's bugging me. What's bugging me about this episode? It's simple. The position of the voice trumpet at the after the calypso dance at the so which is kind of weird. I measured it originally and it would be extremely delayed, but I'm starting to wonder if the voice trumpet was in the same position as Spider's, as well as the U.S. version of Boots, which I did not put in, as you can see here, because the version of this episode, the episode that version is from, of the Calypso Dance, that had Poby the Boo Shutter. And I think it might be, I'm wondering if the voice trumpet's in the same position as Spider's. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Numbers 10, simple. Even though I do remember seeing this episode pretty clearly, I couldn't remember what the opening scene was, and it was this until it was uploaded in 2020, the full episode, I should say. And it was the version from Ned's Geraniums, and I actually do kind of remember seeing that opening scene before, in the beginning, so yeah. Ballet. Similar to Towers. I mean, like, a lot of users believe it had the running away dance after the dancing bear, but I personally remember seeing an episode where the dancing bear danced twice with the windmill stopping after that. Although I might remember, maybe I did see Tinky Winky be the Boo Shutter, but I don't. But again, it's very vaguely because I'm mostly used to seeing Lala be the Boo Shutter after a magic event. So yeah. At Mark Making Pictures, I don't know if it has the Disney dance at the end of the extended version. I think it does, but that's just, I don't know though. Anyway, now on to season 5. Now, Rolling Wheels. This episode was bugging me because when I first saw Jordan 90s Fanboys recap in 2019, that he remembered that it had. He said that this episode actually had the bird's eye view the field shot from Puppies with the bird's eye view windmill clip with the whooshing sound, the Teletubbies coming outside, and then they go watch the Sea Tracker TV event, and then it had the scene from Rollerblade in the UK version where Tinky Winky chases the Nunu. But nope, it was the other way around, where it had the rabbit shot from the rabbit song from Pally Pool, but with just the last 2 shots, and then it went to the scene from Rollerblading, that rollerblading scene that I just mentioned, and then the Sea Tracker TV event, with the episode ending immediately after that. So, yeah. Feeding chickens. Oh, boy. Originally, when I measured the length of this episode, we all thought that the description was referring to the scene from Asian Storyteller The Fox, where Dipsy gives all the other Teletubbies a big hug. But nope, I actually measured it, and it did, in fact, have the scene from and I knew it had the scene from Dragonflies, where Tinky Winky finds all the other Teletubbies, and then they give each other a big hug. And when one user uploaded parts of this episode last year, turns out I was right. It did have that scene. But what's still bugging me is whether an opening shot was used before the scene from Cuddles Poor Paw, where the Teletubbies were playing a Who Did It game. So yeah, and yes, I am aware of the voice trumpet's position in this episode. That's already turned, of course, and almost done rising. Indian dance. I know this episode has been bugging a lot of people, but I mean, I know Jordan 90s Fanboy knows this episode pretty well. But the thing that's bugging me is what dialogue of the puppet was used. I know it's the bottom right window, but was it the same as Rabbit's numbers 4 and Running, or was it different? Because that's what he's been. That's what he's been. When I first watched his recaps, that's when he's been saying he thought the puppet singing was different. That's the part that's been bugging me, and also the voice trumpet's position in this episode as well, because I heard it was halfway up, but we'll see. Washing clothes. I honestly thought this episode was gonna. The thing that was bugging me about this episode was what happened after the paddling by the sea TV event, where we all thought the episode was going to end immediately, but nope, it had the Calypso dance, the shortened version, the same version from Spiders. Balloon umbrella. Now, this is what I heard. Originally, I heard that this episode had the shortened version of the Stamping and Stepping dance, but but when I measured this episode, it actually had the extended version of that dance. But what I did not, but I actually don't remember the music not changing at all during the dance. I kind of remember it actually had actually I think I do remember that. I'm sorry, I slightly remember that because I do I did see this episode because I do remember the most I pretty clearly remember the Jabadeo TV event. Snails. The thing that's bugging me is I don't very clearly. I don't clearly remember the bird's eye view windmill clip at all. Same with drumming. But drumming Taiwan, that is. Because I did see that both episodes, but I don't remember the bird's eye view windmill clip at all in either of those episodes. So yeah. Fetching water. The thing that was bugging me was what version of the walking dance was used, and it was obviously the shortened version, which is disappointing because the U.S. version of Tennis is the only PBS version, the PBS broadcast where that actually has the extended version of that dance. Although it does kind of make sense because obviously the walking dance is kind of boring if you ask, in my opinion. Numbers 2, India, simple. When I first saw the episode Move with the Drum, which has the scene from where Tinky Winky sings his loud song that's used in this episode as well. That Move with the Drum actually had the voice trumpet being halfway up, and I honestly thought that was going to happen in this episode, but nope. Although we do briefly hear the voice trumpet rising when the baby son starts to giggle, and then we hear it again, and then it goes silent, and then we hear it again after. Right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Right as the baby son finishes up her giggling. Sand bottle. This is what I've been hearing. What's bugging me is what version of the bendy dance is used. A lot of people said it had the windmill stopping and then the camera immediately faced the Tubby by without the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh." But I do remember seeing this episode, and I do remember it actually did have the Teletubby. It did cut back to the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh" and running off before the camera goes to Tubby bye. So yeah. Kites. Now, this is what's bugging me. I originally heard it had the scene from The Very Proud Crown where Tinky Winky and Po were indoors, but I believe it has the up and down dance. But well, I think it has the rabbit song from the U.S. version numbers 5, and then the up and down dance, and then it has the windmill TV event with the episode going to Tubby bye afterward. Soccer. Oh boy, this is what was bugging me about this episode was what magic event was used after the falling down dance. But when there was either the 3 ships of the dancing bear, I heard it was the dancing bear dancing once with the baby son giggling after that. Bouncing pots. Now this episode I do remember pretty clearly, but what's bugging me is the opening shot that's used before the magic tree. I believe it's the one from Lighthouse where because I do kind of remember that main shot, that shot as well. Seeing that shot, so I don't know though. Anyway, getting dressed. This episode, what's bugging me is whether the windmill stops spinning or not after the rocking dance. I heard it's the one from Bird Bath, but it's a version from Bird Bath, but I personally kind of remember the windmill stop. I remember seeing quite a few episodes where the windmill stopped spinning afterward. Numbers 4, India. Oh boy. Simple. The voice trumpet's position in this episode after the windmill stopped spinning. Was it the same position as Numbers 4 version 2, or was it the same position as the U.S. versions of Feeding Chickens and Balancing Pots? That's what's driving me crazy. Now we get to lanterns. This one. The thing that's bugging me about this episode is what opening shot was used before the dancing bear, and then and also the voice trumpet position in this episode, which I measured it, and if I'm correct, the voice trumpet's position is extremely delayed. Like what happened in the UK version of Swimming with Stephanie and Water. So yeah, um, I might remember seeing that because I do kind of remember seeing an episode where the voice treatment was delayed when with Lala being the boost shutter, which happens here. But I personally remember happening after the windmill stopped spinning, which happened in the U.S. version of Numbers 3, India. So yeah. Oh god, dune sledding. The thing that's bugging me is again the voice trumpet's position, and also what was the baby sun clip after the Calypso dance, and this. So yeah. Oh my god, I keep yawning a lot. Anyway, pumpkin face. A lot of people keep saying it has the full scene where it has Poe and Tinky Winky seeing the pumpkin and then Dipsy and Lala seeing the pumpkin, but I believe it has only Dipsy and Lala seeing the pumpkin with the round and round dance after that. Oh, go-karts. Now, I actually measured this episode, and sadly, when I measured it, it matched the length if the falling down dance is cut. And that it just has the scene from Hermit Crabs with the rickshaw TV event and the skipping dance. But Scooby-Doo 1998 says he does remember it have the falling down dance, and he said it would fit with this episode because if we were to go too fast in a rickshaw, we would fall off. So yeah. Canal trip. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually starting to slightly remember seeing an episode with the 3 ships and Dipsy being the boo shutter. And no, it's not the regular U.S. version of Colors Blue, because when I saw the 3 ships with Dipsy being the boo shutter, it actually had the baby sun clip after that. And I'm starting to, and I believe it was a season 5 episode, because I kind of remember it was a Teletubbies Everywhere episode, and I'm pretty sure it was Canal Trip, to be honest. So yeah. Dancing Sevillanas. I was trying to remember how Ralph Saxon sounded when he did the scene where Tinky Winky records some songs into his bag. Feeding the lambs. The thing that was bugging me was simple. Me and Jordan Ice Fanboy were debating on whether it was either this episode or Balloon Umbrella that actually had the baby son clip without the Teletubbies posing after the stamping and stepping dance. But nope. But this episode did have the Teletubbies posing, and it's the same version from the US version. The UK version of Handshapes Turkey. So yeah. Mechanical toys. Now this episode, what was bugging me about was the voice trumpet's position, because we all thought it was going to be like delayed or almost done rising, but nope, it was rising. It just starts to rise when the camera cuts to it. So yeah. Sandwich. This is the thing that's bugging me is what version of the Magic House was used. Was it the top right or bottom left window? I'm starting to guess might be the top left window version, because so far the only episode we found that actually has that is the US version of that in the US series is the US version of Numbers 8. So yeah. Milk and the Cow. Oh boy. This, I believe, is what's bugging me is, did the windmill stop spinning after the animal parade? And also go back dune sledding real quick. I wonder if the elephant trumpet noise was heard, and same here with Milk and the Cow as well. So yeah. And Handshakes Fish. Now, I do believe Dipsy was the missing Teletubby, because we actually do have evidence of that in the US version of Naughty Noo Noo, which has Handshapes Fish after the Teletubbies intro, which has Dipsy being the missing Teletubby. And one user says Tinky Winky believes now Scooby-Doo 1998 believed that Tinky Winky was the boo shutter, but honestly, the Beast remembers Lala being the boo shutter, and I actually agree with him, because honestly, Lala being the boo shutter in this episode would be a perfect ending, because the audio of a Teletubbies actually sounds more sad when she's the boo shutter. So yeah, so it would be fitting, because it makes you think that they're sad, that the Teletubbies are sad that their series is ending. So yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching for this video, and have a great night. Later.